Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. The sun's gone down. It's finally cool enough I can sit still and not be sweating while I do a video today. It was a warm one. I need air conditioning. Fans don't cut it on 90-degree days. This is a kind of an interesting story. Apparently, some teachers gave out a survey or a poll or asked a bunch of students, hey, tell us what your pronouns are. And they were very, very disappointed. They got a bunch of answers that were from, wait for it, fascists. That's right, the kids in school were fascists because they didn't like the answer. This is from Fox News. Now, anybody, whenever I quote Fox News from here on out, and anybody says I'm reading from a conservative, right-leaning organization, this is from Blaze Media. Exclusive Fox News whistleblower exposes company support for far-left charities. And these charities were for the LGHD TV, the Satanic Temple, the Trevor Project, the Baby Deletion Centers, Southern Poverty Law Center. So some of the personalities on air may be a little conservative, but the company itself, Fox News, is not. So just keep that in mind. Researchers, horrified, I tell you, they decries the rise of fascism as students sending mocking responses to woke survey. Here's the thing. See, if when I was young, if you didn't, I don't know, they used to call you maybe a problem child. they used to call you a troublemaker. Before that, I think you were called what? A hippie, a beatnik, a no-gooder, I don't know, all the old words. But now apparently you're a fascist if you don't fall into the ideology. Let me zip this up so you guys can see a little bit better here. Academic researchers condemned students' irreverent and offensive responses to an LGHD TV survey, claiming the pushback indicates fascist ideologue and are living inside the house of engineering and computer science. What does this mean? Now I know I have a girl on the thumbnail. That's because just you guys like girls. But the truth of it is, this is mostly men, and the men that are gamers and that are, spending time on the interwebs are pretty based, it seems. So a lot of the guys are going to be okay. At least 30% of the students, which is probably enough to keep the society from collapsing. They said the article from the Bulletin of Applied Transitioning Studies, academics from Oregon State University. Wrote about their shock at receiving sarcasm and mockery to response to their research into undergraduate LGHD TV students studying in STEM fields. The team claimed 50 of 350 respondents to their questionnaire contained all the bad speech or direct targeting of the research team. Now, was it really, using bad words, and was it being hateful? No, they were laughing. They're having fun with it. The result was the paper titled Attack Helicopters and the White Supremacists, interpreting malicious responses to an online questionnaire about transitioning undergraduate engineering and computer science student experiences. Now, why does this matter? Well, it matters, number one, that it does show you that a lot of young people getting degrees are pushing back against this. And it's in STEM, so, it's probably the majority of it is men. And number two, the worrying part is it shows you a lot of them are still willing to go along to get along. And here's the weird part. I kind of don't blame them. Why? Because if you're in for $100,000 or $70,000 a year for your education and you slip up and get kicked out, you don't get that money back. You're on the hook for that, and you don't get your degree. So I can understand playing nice just to get along so you can go ahead and get your degree. What's interesting, I think, is this photo here. You can still see the folds in the flag. So they've had this up 15 minutes or so, I can tell. The paper broke the responses down into themes like demographics, diversity, equity, inclusion, anti-this, anti-there, that, all the isms and phobe, online hate, subculture references. Several answers contain profanity and other offensive language, and many referenced memes. That's right, the memes will win the culture war. Before I read the rest of this article, let me read you some examples here. I think you'll get a kick out of this. This is some of the responses. And remember, this is who they're calling fascist, right? How do you identify? I identify as a gift card. I'm an ethnic gift card. I don't have disability if indicated. I don't have enough gift cards. Gender aerosol. Afro Klingon Asiatic Galapagosian. Disability being 2.86 white. Apache helicopter, American, male, Puerto Rican American. Now, here's the thing. Malicious respondents. So these say this is malicious. Somebody says, I am male, ethnicity Puerto Rican American. That's it. That's all. Apparently that's bad. Someone else, attack helicopter. Someone else, they say demographics of the malicious respondents. Someone else here says bi, and they're black. How is that bad? Somebody else says I identify as Big Chungus. I'm a Republican. Someone else says there are only two genders. Someone else says I identify as transitioning and she-male and white. Again, why is this? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, some of these are not some of these are not that bad. This other one, number 23, female, white. Like, I don't get it. Someone else says hermaphrodite, African American, and their disability is the trans community. So they say, according to the article, the malicious subjects were asked to fill out a demographic data. 12 respondents, 24%, indicated their gender as being related to a helicopter or aircraft based, ranging from Apache attack helicopter to a V-22 Osprey. In the section declaring one's disabilities, respondents ranged from claiming to be illiterate to lamenting my country is run by communists, or even declaring that identifying as transition is disability itself due to the inability to come to terms with biological reality. Now, why do I think this is an interesting story? And it's important because a lot of us Gen Xers, the boomers are almost, they're kind of tapped out now. And the millennials are, a lot of them are just a bunch of screaming memes. And to me, I feel like Gen X is one of the bastions of sanity, because we're the go-between between the stodgy old boomers and the crazy millennials. I don't mean crazy in a bad way necessarily, although millennials have definitely, they're all emotional. They're all kind of crazy. And I feel like Gen X is just sitting back, watching it happen, kind of having a laugh and a cold one, and just watching it all melt down. Because they have the benefit of being old enough that they've come into wisdom, but they're still interested, so they're still staying tapped in. One respondent claimed to identify. Let me finish my thought. So anyway, the reason why I think this is important, because Gen X and a lot of people, I think, start getting very down when you see all this news that people are being weird. But there's about 50% of the country that is not into this stuff. And when you're in college and 25% are willing to probably get in trouble by making ridiculous claims, it shows you there's hope. And again, this is in STEM, so it's mostly male anyway. But it also shows you that if they're willing to call kids being kids fascist because they don't answer something that's ridiculous in a serious way, that shows you where we are. That if the left gets total control of everything, this country will completely collapse. We're already headed in that direction at monumental speed. So we're in for some very, very hard times. But there is a little bit of hope that the next generation coming up, at least the ones that are, taking computers and going to be online and working some of this stuff, at least they're still a little based. Anyway, a lot of these are the replies that I read on the screenshot there. They say online memes associated with white nationalist and fascist movements were present throughout the data. What does that mean? It means they're memes that make fun of everything, like memes always do, and call out the ridiculousness, and they're not all in, they're not part of this. And so, of course, they're the evil people now. The research team declared that the mockery they received had a profound impact on morale and mental health. Look, here's the thing. If I can tease you, if I can give you a hard time and you start breaking down and you start crying because of your mental health, it's not me that's got a problem. It's these people that can't handle a little bit of mockery and someone being silly at their expense. Because I'll tell you, if you're on the internet, whether you're me or somebody else, whether you're on Twitter or YouTube, you're going to get a lot of pushback. And if you can't handle that pushback, here's a great idea. Maybe you're in the wrong job. Maybe you should get off the internet. Maybe you should knock it off instead of trying to control what everybody else does. But that's where we are now. You know, the helicopter parents and the snowplow parents making the way of the life ahead for their child so easy, and everybody gets their participation trophy, and it's your world, and everybody else is just living in it. These kids are now becoming adults, and what you're seeing is they have never received any pushback on anything in their entire lives. They don't know how to handle it, and so their response is to become bullies and tell everybody to shut up, and then try to forcefully remove them from society. They would lock every single Trump supporter or every kid that answered this in a wrong way. They would be more than happy to lock them up and throw away the key for wrongthink. That's what's going to, and it's just going to get worse. Thank goodness Gen Z, it looks like, is starting to look at all this and kind of push back. And I'll tell you something. I go to 9gag and I search on there and look for memes and stuff like that. And over time, over the course of the last year, I saw things that were kind of like memes that were kind of supportive of this, but maybe just being questioning a little bit or poking a little bit of fun at it. They were somewhat supported. Like in many cases, it was they were downvoted more than upvoted because people weren't into making fun. They didn't think it was cool but as it's grown and as these people get weirder and weirder, I've seen a complete flip to where, excuse me a second. I got a scratchy throat tonight. I've seen it go the opposite way to when people are making fun of this stuff. It's like 20-1 in support of making fun of it. In other words, it's just gone over the top, and everybody is so done with it, including the meme makers, the younger generation, everything else. They say particularly for one transition researcher who was already in therapy for anxiety and the deep sadness regarding online anti-rhetoric, paper claimed that managing the study's data collection caused significant personal distress, and time had to be taken off the project to heal from traumatic harm of having to read students' responses in the survey. This is what I'm talking about. These people, no matter what you do, this person that needed to take time off to heal from whatever they read of somebody else's opinion making fun of their thoughts, when you are that soft, when you are that weak, that means the hard times are coming. We talk about this a lot. Weak men make hard times. All these weak people, they're not going to make it in society. They're going to fold like a house of cards. They're not going to make it. No matter how much you try to placate them, no matter how much you try to make them happy, no matter how much you bow down and scrape, it's never going to be enough. Eventually, something is going to tip them over. It always does. It always does. And most of the time, these people are having melties. They're melting down over anything that doesn't go their way. And so they're deeply unhappy, angry people. And at the end of the day, I'm going to go to bed at night and sleep fine having laughed at a bunch of memes. And these people are like going to see, doctors and get therapy or something. The scholars concluded the malicious responses indicate that fascism has become a common ideology in engineering, computer science, and academia. They suggest that the counter-response should be social justice STEM education that includes perspectives on online hate and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that'll work. Push it down their throats more. There you go. Problem solved. It'll go away now at any moment. Or because you push this so hard and you force it in everything, people are getting tired of it, and it's a backlash now. So keep pushing it. Please keep pushing it. Let's see how that works for you. Anyway, they go on a bunch of other crying. Who cares? You guys get the idea. These look, I feel sorry. I do feel sorry. A lot of times I say that and people give me crap. But I'll use the same analogy, and I don't feel sorry for them that they want to shut me up. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry that their feelings are hurt. I don't feel sorry that they're horrible people. Let me just make that very clear. I'm not sorry for that. Okay, because I'm gonna fight them with every meme and joke and crazy thing that I can say to drive them crazy. I am going to. Have no doubts about that. I feel sorry for them because they had probably horrible single moms, or a single like a mom dating a feminist dude, and they didn't get any masculinity in their lives, and they didn't learn how to push back, and they didn't learn how to have a spine, and they didn't learn how to just do the whatever, man, shrug it off and move on with their lives. They're deeply troubled people. They're going to be unhappy forever. And the rest of us are just going to kind of chuckle and laugh it off and then move about our lives. So in the end, I think we're going to be fine. You know, we're going to be fine. I think you guys that listen to this kind of content and pay attention, I think we're all going to be fine. It's interesting, but we are in for some hard times, because when these people become judges and lawyers and doctors and attorneys and all the because they're not going to be, let's face it, they're not going to be roofers and bricklayers, but these people are going to be all in the upper echelons of the intelligentsia. And man, if this is the way politics goes, then even things like Fox News, like even they go woke. Like at a certain point, kind of everything's going to be woke, and then we're in the underground, then we're the outclass, and then I'm not on the internet anymore. I've thrown all my electronics away, and I'm playing in my garden out here in the middle of nowhere. Guys, don't forget, I got a membership or a supporter drive over on betterbachelor.locals.com. Please become a supporter today. It's $5 a month, but it helps me be independent, so that when YouTube finally decides to get rid of me because I'm not all in, like the rest of us, I'll be able to rub a couple nickels together. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. We'll see you in the next one.